Hey guys, Philly here, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about update 10 and sort of the state of Blox at the moment. So I kind of want to make this video because there are a lot of issues that aren't really being fixed or like having attention drawn to, and it's kind of bothering me, and I think a lot of people are complaining about the game, and these things really need to be fixed for this game to be smoothened out. Now, I know that the update did come out a couple weeks ago, so they've had a lot of time to go over sort of the bugs in the game, but obviously some bugs do still persist and they're quite annoying, but they will be patched out over time. But currently the game has had enough time to sort of fix itself and get itself back onto its feet, but it sort of hasn't properly recovered. And I kind of wanted to go over a couple of topics that I think need to really be sorted and need to be looked at. The first, which is combat. So combat is a major problem right now. First of all, PvP is an absolute mess, right? PvP is absolutely a mess. PvP has always been kind of a mess in Blox, but it was okay in update 8.5, like it was manageable. Now in update 10, it's sort of just like 2 beams kill you and that's it. It's the first person who can shoot out 2 beams and you win. That's just all it is, realistically, and it's kind of terrible. With the new forms like Ultra Ego and Ultra Instinct, you literally one-shot people. It's ridiculous. Combat is just completely and utterly garbage at the moment. It needs to be fixed. There needs to be some sort of percentile damage reduction for PvP or something, but only for PvP. Don't just nerf the beams as a total, making PvE harder. It needs to be really like isolated, and they need to fix the problem. I would personally recommend just using a percentile. You take a percentage of the current max damage someone has and you half it or something like that, only against players though, because if you make that for PvP, you're gonna make the game even worse. But definitely do that or something like that. I don't know, just fix PvP in some sort of sense of the manner. It's completely terrible, and I know a lot of players hate it at the moment. The next thing I want to talk about, back into combat. I want to talk about PvE side of combat, PvE side of combat is completely terrible still as well. The bosses, it feels like there was a lot of bugs at the start of the game, as we know. For some reason, it's like they tried to completely rework combat as a whole, and damage as a whole for all the skills. When the game first came out, I don't know if you guys remember, but on the first day, the skills were like completely useless. You couldn't kill any of the bosses for some reason, and it was just ridiculous. But yeah, all the skills, they eventually buffed the skills, and they never really sort of recovered back to where they were in 8.5. A lot of the skills don't really work properly, and there's a lot of issues with them. I don't know if this is intentional, but whenever you try to blast a boss with a tri-beam, usually in 8.5, like update 8.5, they wouldn't be able to charge an ability while being hit by an ability. And this was a major, this is a major issue right now, because I would cast a tri-beam, and then I would have a tri-beam casted back at me that would do half my health. You know, it's like I don't have time to do anything to react to it, and it's not fair that a boss can charge their ability while getting hit, but when I'm getting hit, I can't charge my ability. It's so stupid. Like, it doesn't make any sense. It's like if someone was to hit me in PvP with their tri-beam, and I was to cast my tri-beam while being smacked by a tri-beam. It's like, that's exactly what the bosses are doing to every single player right now, and it's quite frustrating, to be honest. They need to fix that. They need to make the abilities actually stun the bosses when they get hit, just like we get stunned. But I don't know. That's the only problem I can really see with PvE at the moment. Obviously, it's like the same with all the weapon scythes and abilities. If I'm hitting a boss with my scythe in this circle, they shouldn't be able to punch me, because I'll do this and the boss will walk and punch me, and they'll do half my health in the time I'm able to get out of my animation. It's very annoying. But yeah, that's like, it's very, very irritating, and it needs to be fixed. It needs to be looked at. I don't know if they meant this intentionally, or if it's an accident, they didn't even realize it's in the game, but honestly, it needs to be looked at, it needs to be fixed. The next thing I wanted to talk about is the Destroyer Game Pass. Now, I've talked about this a couple times. I'm going to throw a video up on the screen. You guys can just search through my channel and find that video if you want more details on that topic. But pretty much the Destroyer Game Pass is so unbelievably bad right now that it needs to be fixed. This Game Pass is so expensive for what it gives you. It is a 2,000 Robux Game Pass, right? If we come over here, just about 2,000 Robux, right? You pay for this Game Pass, and it gives you the outfit, the accessories, the transformation, and the drain skill. Now, usually this Game Pass was worth it, right? You get a cool outfit that looks amazing, you get a skill that's very, very strong, and you get the transformation, which helps you prestige and get more rebirths and stuff like that. Great, right? Fantastic. I love that. Now, in update 8.5, this was great. You know, there was no issues with this ability. Everyone used it. No one had issues with it. It was great, right? It was balanced. It was pretty balanced for PvP. Most PvP players didn't even bother using it because it wasn't, like, the best, you know? It was fine. It was literally fine how it was. But then, in update 10, they decided to just completely nerf the hell out of the skill. So if you go across to drain here, you now drain and absorb 35% of the target's max health. That's what it was in update 8.5. Now they've added this little extra bit to it, and it now damage caps at the amount of your maximum health. So pretty much you can only realistically do like 100,000 damage at one go with this. And you might be like, oh, 100,000 damage is really good. It's really not for a 60-second cooldown ability, and considering it went from being like way over 100,000 health, is really bad. So pretty much they made everyone pay 2,000 Robux for a skill and a Game Pass that they just completely nerfed into the ground, making it useless. So yeah, you're kind of like, well, sick, and it needs to be fixed. A lot of people know that this ability needs to be fixed. Now, Game Passes as a whole in Roblox, I mean to make the game easier, and all the Game Passes do that, right? For the most part, you know, you've got like your auto rebirth, you've got your 5% training power, and they all make the game very easy, right? And these two together are literally better than Destroyer. And look at the price of Destroyer. It is unbelievably expensive. It's ridiculous, right? You pay so much for so little. And this wouldn't be a problem if the game came out and Destroyer was like this and people that wanted to buy Destroyer still could. But it was the fact that it was so overpowered before, and then they didn't touch it for ages, and then they just decided to make it really, really bad this update. For whatever reason they decided to do that for, I have no idea, right? Anyway, the next thing I want to talk about is the skill immunity on the bosses. Now, a lot of you guys know that most of the bosses in the game now, all the top bosses, have skill immunity. Now, I hate this thing. Skill immunity is completely and utterly garbage, and I don't know a single player that actually turns around and goes, yeah, I love skill immunity. It's like, if no one likes it, get rid of it. Seriously. Like, recently they added skill immunity to Ultra Instinct and Ultra Ego. These bosses are almost impossible to solo in one life. Like, you can't go in there and just like hit them and kill them, right, without them just absolutely destroying you, because you can't stun them anymore. Anytime you try to use any sort of stun ability, it comes up skill immune. So much so that the actual one of the weapons in the game doesn't even allow you to use its skill against them, right? You can't use the trunk sword. You literally can't use the sword's ability because it won't let you stun them. I don't know why it does that, or why they even thought that was a good idea, but honestly, remove all skill immunity apart from the Great Droid. Keep it only on the Great Droid. There is no reason for Jigray, Elmano, and Ultra Instinct and Ultra Ego Goku to have skill immunity. There's no reason for it, right? They already have, like, they already have a heap of health, right? Just get rid of the skill immunity. There's no point, right? I don't like that. No one likes it. Get rid of it. Simple fix, right? The next thing I want to talk about is the boss health and the prestige system. Now, for the most part, the prestige system is great, but it's also not great. And the reason why I say that is because they practically make you work your ass off to hit 5 prestiges, which is just weaker than you were in update 8.5. And you may be like, what? No, that doesn't make sense. Well, when you played up in update 8.5 and you were at 100 rebirths, right? The bosses in the main world and like stuff like that were easier to kill than they are now, because they buffed all the bosses' HP and damage. So all the bosses in the main world are like way harder to kill. They're like 3 times as much health, right? Like, Broly has as much health as Elmano did in the last update. So you get to max prestige, you get to max rebirth, you get to max power, you unlock all these different things, you get all the new items that give you crazy stats and buffs, you unlock fusion, you get you know, the new techniques, and you're still weaker than you were in update 8.5. It doesn't make sense. You might have more health and you might do more damage, but because the bosses are buffed, it doesn't feel like you're going anywhere. You feel like you've just stood still. It feels like you've taken a few steps backwards from update 8.5, and I don't know why they did that. It literally makes no sense. Like, revert the boss's health to what they were. You know, I've worked like my butt off, and I'm sure a lot of people can agree that they've worked, you know, their ass off to get to, you know, prestige 3, 4, 5, right? I want to be able to go to these main world bosses and just kill them in a couple shots. That's what I should be able to do because I'm maxed out. You shouldn't scale the update. You shouldn't scale these bosses that are in the first world that are meant for like lower level players to, you know, slowly scale themselves up to max level, to scale them to the max players. You shouldn't do that. It doesn't make sense. There's no reason for it. There's no sense of progression at all. I don't get that personally. I really can't see the logic behind it. But anyway, the next thing I want to talk about is the testers. Now, there are testers on the main official Discord server. Now, these testers are meant to test the game and updates before they release. Now, I don't know if this is a problem with the testers or if this is a problem with the devs not letting the testers do their job, right? Clearly, no one is testing these updates, right? When update 10 came out, there were like crazy amounts of bugs that you would have easily been able to notice on the first day of testing the update, right? The damage bug, you couldn't kill a single boss when you couldn't kill like one of the easiest bosses in the game would take 10 years to kill as a level, like as a max rebirth player when the update 10 came out. How did the testers not realize that? Or did the devs not let them go on test properly? Like, I don't know how that happened, how they didn't realize that. Or if they're all just yes men. Like, seriously, I don't know. And then, all, like, the skill immunity, the drain stuff, how did that all get past the testers being like, yeah, that's fine? Like, I seriously don't know how it did. Yeah. It definitely does bother me a little bit, because it's like, what are they doing? Now, again, as I said before, this might not be an actual tester's problem. This could be a dev problem, not letting them on or not listening to them. Who knows, right? But they definitely need a few testers that get on there and really tell them, like, what's going on. Anyway, the last thing I want to talk about are suggestions. Now, the suggestion system that they have set up in their Discord is useless. They don't look at it at all, and it's quite clear they don't look at it at all as well, right? I'm going to get in a lot of shit for this video probably, because I know a lot of people are just going to like suck up to the owner or whatever, right? And I have no issues with the owner, I have no issues with the dev team. I think they've made a fantastic game for the most part. There's just a few issues that really do bother me, and I'm sure they bother a lot of people as well, right? But the next thing I want to talk about is the suggestion system. The suggestion system in this game kinda sucks. So if you guys don't know, there's a channel in the official Discord server that allow players like you and me to go and make suggestions. Now, when you reach 20 suggestion upvotes, the dev team, the owner, whoever is meant to start to like look at this and start to like consider it, maybe not approve it, you know, obviously, but they're meant to have a little look at it. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I don't think they look at this channel at all. Now, don't get me wrong, there are a lot of messages in this channel, but they just don't look at it. They don't seem to care or look at it, whatever, right? This suggestion that I made about removing the skill immunity off UI and UE that I'm going to pop up on the screen is literally at over 60 upvotes, which is like an all-time server high, right, in terms of upvotes. It's a ridiculous amount of upvotes, and they're not doing anything. They haven't approved it, they haven't unapproved it, you know, they haven't denied it, they haven't done anything, right? They haven't said anything, they haven't done anything. We don't know what's going on. We have no idea what's happening. And it's like, you're like, great, I see that you're making a new waste weapon, but that's not the problem. I want the game to be fixed. You know, instead of adding, like, content, you know, all this, like, kind of, like, cool, funky content to the game, maybe fix the game before you do any of that, you know? Like, get the game's basics down so when new players join, they actually feel like they want to play. I don't know if that's just me, man. And again, I know this video is going to get me in so much shit, and I'm kind of ranting on, but, like, I can't be the only one thinking this. There's so many issues with this game that need to be fixed that aren't being, like, any attention paid towards. Yeah. Anyway, guys, I've been Philly. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm just pretty much like gonna go with that. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys next time.